Okay, let's do this.
Was just shocked at the plot. 15 chapters could have been 5. This never happened. Why would I do that? I'm buying it. It's incredible.
Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mariétou. Today I'm filming one of my favorite type of videos. It's so simple, but yet it's like my favorite thing to do. I'm reviewing books. This is my second time reviewing books. I've been a book rat my whole life. My reading schedule kind of ebbs and flows, but right now I'm like obsessed with reading. So I wanted to share with you the books that I've read that I'm completely obsessed with and maybe give you ideas on what to read. So if you don't know me, if it's the first time you've seen me, my name is Mariétou and I film lifestyle and fashion videos. So if you like my content, please do not forget to subscribe, and without further ado, let's hop into the video, shall we? So the first book that I want to review is The Midnight Library. I've seen this a lot on TikTok and I was like, you know what, let me give it a try. Let me read the synopsis for you. Between life and death, there is a library, she said. And within that library, the shelves go on forever. Every book provides a chance to try another life you could have lived. To see how things would be if you had made other choices. Would you have done anything different if you had the chance to undo your regrets? Would you? Would you? So basically it's a girl that's like living the life that she's really not happy about, and she kind of dies basically. And then there's a library, as I just read, and she could see like all the possibilities of her life had she had not died or had she had not done something. She looks at how her life would have panned out, and it's really interesting because by the end of it she kind of realizes that, you know, maybe her life wasn't as bad or maybe her life wasn't as good. I'm not gonna tell you what's the real ending of the story, but it's kind of interesting to realize through the pages how her thought process kind of changes, and yeah, it's kind of nice. I would honestly give it maybe like a 7 out of 10. It wasn't like the best read, but it wasn't like the worst. I kind of liked it. It's like a cute little read for the summer. The next one that I wanna show you, it's a popular one. It is Atomic Habits. This book, if there's one thing you want to buy, okay, from all of this, it's this book. I love it so much and it gives you so many good tips. It's incredible. And even though it's been like 7 months since I've read this book, I still quote the book like every other week because it's like ingrained in my head. Seriously, I would read it again just to remind myself of all the things that I could be doing to improve my life. And like, if there's one thing you gotta remember from this book, it's like tiny changes, remarkable results. That's like the best way this book could be described. You gotta improve by 1% every day. Discover the secret to results that last. Packed with evidence-based self-improvement strategies, Atomic Habits will teach you how to design habits that work for you rather than against you. This the one. I don't know how to convince you to buy this book more. I am obsessed with this one. It's like the best book I bought. Next one is One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I adore this book. I loved reading this book. In her 20s, Emma Blair marries her high school sweetheart, Jesse. They build a life for themselves, far away from the expectations of their parents and the people of their hometown in Massachusetts. They travel the world together. Emma is a freelance writer, Jesse as a production assistant on nature documentaries, living life to the fullest and seizing every opportunity for adventure. On their first wedding anniversary, Jesse is on an assignment in the Aleutian Island when his helicopter goes missing over the Pacific. Just like that, Jesse is gone forever. Emma quits her job and moves home in an effort to put her life back together. Years later, now in her 30s, Emma runs into an old friend, Sam, and finds herself falling in love again. When Emma and Sam get engaged, it feels like Emma's second chance at happiness. That is, until Jesse is found. He's alive and he's been trying to come home to her all these years. Emma now has a husband and a fiance, but who is her one true love? And what does it even mean to love truly? Emma knows she has to listen to her heart. She's just not sure what it's saying. Come on. This, first of all, this is so inviting. Like the second I read the back of the book, I was like, I'm buying it. It's so interesting how both of the love stories are beautiful, but you're kind of cheering on for like one of them. I'm not gonna be biased and tell you like which one you're supposed to, you know, go for. When you kind of read the book, you're like, oh my god, I kind of prefer this one. But it's not even that the other one is a bad person. It's just that like there's one true love. There is one true love, when maybe it's not the love you think it is, maybe it is. You don't know until you find out, you know? And I love how she kind of goes back to her family, you know? There's a lot of family values. This book is all about respect and understanding and honesty. It's just very, very cute and it's refreshing. It's just refreshing to have a book like this, and yeah, I really liked it. I would give it honestly like a solid 9 out of 10, only because like 10 out of 10, like I don't know, like I feel like I haven't read like a 10 out of 10 book. Have I? No, I haven't yet, but very close, like literally 9, even 9.2 out of 10. I really like this book. Yeah, it's a breathtaking love story, as it says right here. It is. Next book I am going to show is Where the Crawdads Sing. Okay, let me be honest here. It kind of took me a year to read this book. I don't know. Let me read the back. For years, rumors of the Marsh Girl have haunted Barkley Cove, a quiet town on the North Carolina coast. So in late 1969, when handsome Chase Andrews is found dead, the locals immediately suspect Kaya Clark, the so-called Marsh Girl. But Kaya is not what they say. Sensitive and intelligent, she has survived for years alone in the marsh that she calls home. Finding friends in the goals and lessons in the sun, then the time comes when she yearns to be touched and loved. When two young men from town become intrigued by her wild beauty, Kaya opens herself to a new life until the unthinkable happens. I have bought this book. If you go back to my videos, I bought this book like in January 2022. We're in April 2023. I finished this in like January. I kid you not. I don't know what it was. Actually, I do know what it was. It's written in Old English. For like 15 chapters, you have to read in Old English. My English is good. Like, I know how to speak English. I know how to read English. I've always been in like highest levels of English classes, but reading in Old English, why would I do that? 15 chapters could have been 5 chapters. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was so much description, and I feel like it could have been really shortened. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like it could have been shortened. And the fact of the matter is, I kind of deciphered the plot way before they told us what happened at the end, like who was the killer and who, you know, did that. Kind of bummed about it, you know, like it took me a year to read, and like the ending was not even that amazing, you know. I was kind of, you know, anyways, I was kind of sad about it. But some people love the book. Some people actually do. I'm just not that person. But it's like not the worst either, you know. I'm trying to be nice. 6 out of 10 because it's not like failing. but I wouldn't read it again. I don't know, let's move on. The next book, I don't have it with me because I read it on my tablet, but the book is Love and Other Words. This book was so good. The story of the heart can never be unwritten. Macy Sorensen is settling into an ambitious, if emotionally tepid, routine. Work hard as a new pediatrics resident, plan her wedding to an older, financially secure man, keep her head down and heart tucked away. But when she runs into Elliot Petropoulos, the first and only love of her life, the careful bubble she's constructed begins to dissolve. Once upon a time, Elliot was Macy's entire world, growing for her gangly, bookish friend into the man who coaxed her heart open again after the loss of her mother, only to break it on the very night he declared his love for her. Told in alternating timelines between then and now, teenage Elliot and Macy grow from friends to much more, spending weekends and lazy summers together in a house outside of San Francisco, devouring books, sharing favorite words, and talking through their growing pains and triumphs. As adults, they have become strangers to one another until their chance reunion. Although their memories are obscured by the agony of what happened that night so many years ago. What happened that night? Elliot will come to understand the truth behind Macy's decade-long silence and will have to overcome the past in himself to revive her faith in the possibility of an all-consuming love. Love, loss, friendship, and the betrayals of the past all collide in the first fiction novel from New York Times and #1 international best-selling author Christina Lauren. Whew. When I tell you, this book had complexity. This book had ups and downs, you know? It had consistency. It was so good, and honestly, I was just shocked at the plot. Like, I was shocked at why they weren't together anymore, because basically, if you are following here, Elliot and Macy were in love with each other, and then something happened. It kind of changed everything, and like, it really did. When you find out, you're like, oh my god, how could she even continue this? How could she even like rekindle this? I would be in shambles still. But then you realize, like, they love each other, you know? Like, we can't do anything about it. They just love each other. There were so many instances where I was like, oh my god, I need to like highlight this freaking sentence or this whole paragraph. It was so cute. I would give it a 9 as well, like a 9 out of 10, seriously. Mwah, Chef's Kiss, really good. Another book that's like very, very similar to Love and Other Words, this one. Like, if you like Love and Other Words, you will like Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. Every Summer After is a book about friends turning into lovers, and it kind of gives off the same vibe as Love and Other Words, because they were friends, they kind of fall in love, and then they have something happening, and then they're not together anymore, and it's like irreparable, so they think. They say you can never go home again. And for Persephone Fraser, ever since she made the biggest mistake of her life a decade ago, that has felt too true. Instead of spending summers in cottage country on the glittering lakeshore of her childhood, she stays in her stylish apartment in Toronto, keeping everyone a safe distance from her heart. Until Percy receives the call that sends her racing back to Barry's Bay and into the orbit of Sam Florek, the man she never thought she'd have to live without. But what happened? For 6 summers during their youth, through hazy afternoons on the water and warm nights working in his family's restaurant, Percy and Sam had been inseparable. And when Percy returns to the lake, their connection is as undeniable as it had always been. But until she can confront the decisions she's made, they'll never know whether their love is bigger than the biggest mistake of their past. Told over the course of 6 years in the past and 1 weekend in the present, Every summer after is gorgeously romantic. Look at love and the people and choices that mark us forever. Word. This book as well is so good. It's really well done. And one thing that I love about this book is that it's in Canada. In Canada. What? In like the first 10 pages, Montreal is mentioned, and I'm like, whoa, this never happens. I mean, we're on the map. We're on the map. Like, what? 9 out of 10. Very good. It's an easy read as well. It's not complicated, and you're like, all throughout the book, you're really like, what the hell happened, you know, for them to not be together? Because their story is so cute and it's really like heartwarming. Like, they grew up together. You feel like they're meant to be, and you don't really understand why they're not together until you read, like, you know, the last 100 pages maybe. And it's kind of frustrating too, because like, you get why they're not together anymore, and like, it's the question of like, should you forgive that person of like what happened, or like, should you just, you know, let go of love? But yeah, this book is good. And now I'm gonna finish with my girl Coco Hoover. Coco Hoover, okay, I read 2 books from her recently. The first one I'm gonna start with is Starts With Us. Okay, it's only fitting. It Starts With Us. I'm gonna start with that. It's the sequel from It Ends With Us. So if you haven't read It Ends With Us, go read it. Go watch my first review and then come here. I kind of liked it. It really starts right where we left off in It Ends With Us. And I feel like it's a good little wrap-up story, and it's very cute, and you can see the development of each character and each story, and it's not like too much. She didn't milk it. Some people didn't like it, but I personally like the story. It's like a cute little story of like an actual healthy relationship, you know, and a scary one that is ending. Lily and Ryle have just settled into a civil co-parenting rhythm with their daughter, Emerson, when Lily suddenly runs into Atlas nearly 2 years after they last spoke. Elated that the timing finally seems to be right to give what they have together a real chance, Atlas asks Lily on a date. But Lily's excitement is almost immediately replaced by dread and anxiety when Lily remembers that Ryle, though no longer her husband, is still very much part of her life. And though Ryle would dislike Lily dating anyone but him, Atlas Corrigan is the one man he absolutely will not stand having in his ex-wife and daughter's lives. Told from the perspectives of Lily and Atlas, It Starts With Us gives readers a deeper look into Atlas's past as he and Lily reconnect and rekindle the love they shared as teenagers, while navigating a volatile ex-husband who believes Atlas to be one of the reasons his marriage with Lily ended. It ain't no reason. No, it's not because of Atlas, babes. It's not because of Atlas. Okay. This book is good. I would give this book like an 8 out of 10. It's really not that bad. I kind of enjoyed it. It was easy to read, quick to read, and their love is very shown in this one. So yeah, and like, it's grown-up love, you know, and the first one is more like teenage love and how they like had their first love together, you know, but now you kind of see how their love perdured in the time, and it's very, very cute. Yeah, so that's why I would give it an 8 out of 10. And the last book is Hard Bones. Damaged people recognize other damaged people. It's like a club you don't want a membership to. Bea Grimm has only ever known a life of poverty and neglect. After surviving by any means necessary, she finally has a hard-earned ticket out of Kentucky with a full ride to Penn State. 2 short months before she's finally free, an unexpected death leaves her homeless and forced to spend the remainder of her summer in a peninsula in Texas with a father she barely knows, begging the summer to go by quickly and hoping to remain as invisible as possible. Bea wants nothing to do with Samson, the wealthy, brooding guy who lives next door to her father and who couldn't possibly understand where Bea's coming from or what she's been through. But what an almost immediate connection, too intense for them to deny, of futures leading them to opposite ends of the country. Bea and Samson decide to stay in the shallow end of a summer fling, neither of them realizing that a ripped current is about to drag both their hearts out to sea. Kind of the story where the girl is like, oh, I'm broken. You don't need to know anything about my life. But then she doesn't realize that there's other people around her and they're living their lives too, and they have difficulties as well. And this book is like her realizing that some people have bigger problems than her. Maybe not bigger, but like problems too, you know? It's kind of fun to see her switch from being like this cold-hearted person that sees like nothing but the bad from people, and then being this loving person that cares and will go the distance for you. She kind of finds her family back. She's kind of like happier by the end of it. In the beginning, she's like, damaged people recognize other damaged people. Like, she is damaged too. And honestly, it kind of starts off very like intense. It kind of starts off very, very intense, but the ending is very, very cute. And all in all, it's a love story, you know? So, but Coco Hoover has a way of using traumatized people in her stories. It's kind of scary sometimes. Like, sometimes I don't know where it's going, you know? The ending, I feel like it could have been like more like wowza, but it wasn't. But I would give it maybe like a 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, the plot honestly kind of was good, I can't lie. 7.75. Yeah, 7.75. So that was it for my book review, my second one. I wanted to include so many books. I really wanted to. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up and let me know which books you would actually read, and give me suggestions. I'm ready. I have a big ass TBR list that only wants to get bigger. On that note, I will leave you to it. Thank you guys for watching, and I love you. Bye.